When you put a data point on a sigil that represents a fallen angel, that symbol, that sigil, establishes communication with that fallen angel. That is the interdimensional communication system. About the word hex. Hexadecimal 16 geomantic figures. Hexadecimal combinatorial optimization, Ramon Lull, 12th century, wheels within wheels that had numbers and letters, hexadecimal, 16 geomantic figures on wheels, combinatorial optimization, the operating system of quantum computing, taken from the 12th century and further back, overlaying data onto a great table of the earth, divided into quadrants. The data points are laid into the quadrants in the pattern from which they were generated randomly by humans in the Boltzmann machine process of random number generation, producing the probability, meaning the probable locations of those data points of zeros and ones, the zeros and ones being arranged in a pattern by us, a pattern of points in those four quadrants. The pattern that they're seeking through the iteration of data from around the world, the pattern they're seeking represents the 49th key. Those data points individually, each point touches a sigil. Sigils arranged on the great table of the earth, sigils that are subdivided into four quadrants. Those sigils, each one of those sigils gets a data point that overlays, that is physically in the computer on that sigil, that symbol. That sigil represents an individual fallen angel. When you put a data point on a sigil that represents a fallen angel, that symbol, that sigil, establishes communication with that fallen angel. That is the interdimensional communication system. That fallen angel, now linked up, provides information to the seeker, the diviner, the seeker of that information. These people at D-Wave using quantum computers are diviners. They're using a modern and highly complex version of geomancy. A complex version of what Ramon Lull and Edward Kelly used and what Crowley used, and the combinatorial optimization operating system employed in the hexadecimal 16 system of Ramon Lull in the 12th century.
There's something strange about symbols. They hold power. They transmit energy. They connect us to forces beyond what we see. But what if I told you that the intricate symbols used for summoning in ancient times and the circuit diagrams used to harness electricity today are doing the exact same thing? Throughout history, sigils have been used in rituals, carved into stone, inked onto parchment, whispered over candlelight. They were designed with one purpose: to channel power, to summon forces beyond our understanding. Now look at a circuit board. Lines and symbols arranged in precise formations, each connection designed to direct energy, to activate something unseen. A misplaced line in a sigil, the ritual fails. A broken connection in a circuit, the device is dead. The principle is the same. Both require activation. A sigil is nothing more than an arrangement of lines until it's empowered. A circuit is just metal and silicon until it receives power. Then, and only then, does it come to life.
Let's take a closer look at the i486DX CPU from Intel. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage from opening this part, but it looks something like this. This particular CPU ran at a core frequency of 33 MHz and contains approximately 1.2 million transistors. It also contains a hidden secret, right here. We can see what it is if I switch over to the other microscope. What appears to initially be just a triangle turns out to be a pyramid with individual blocks under higher magnification. This silicon pyramid measures approximately 135 by 70 micrometers. According to sources I found, the i486DX 33 MHz version was initially released on May 7th of 1990, which means this chip would have been a refresh in 1992.
The Ars Goetia refers to the first book of the Lesser Key of Solomon, a 17th century grimoire detailing 72 demonic spirits, their sigils, methods of summoning them for knowledge and power. These apparently, the company that Jeffrey Epstein used to invest in Peter Thiel's company is called Ars Goetia. Okay, you see it right there? Ars Goetia LLC is not just an Epstein company. It is one of the most important private equity vehicles used to move money in Silicon Valley. Okay. In the September and December 2025 releases, it is confirmed as a primary entity Epstein used for his partnership with Peter Thiel. We're going back to the original book of demonology, okay, and how you summon them is in that book, the Ars Goetia.
The sigils of the Ars Goetia are a set of mystical symbols used to summon, control, or communicate with the demons listed in the first book of the Lesser Key of Solomon. The text catalogs 72 demons, each with a unique sigil that represents their name, rank, and powers within the infernal hierarchy. The Ars Goetia is part of a larger tradition of grimoires, which are medieval books of magic that provide detailed instructions on how to summon and control spirits. The origins of this text itself are shrouded in mystery, but it's believed to have been compiled in the 17th century, drawing from earlier texts and traditions that date back to the Middle Ages. Each sigil in the Ars Goetia is a unique graphic signature associated with a particular demon. The process of creating these sigils, known as sigilization, involves transforming the letters of a demon's name into a complex, abstract symbol.
In the ruins of the world's oldest civilizations, fragments on clay tablets whisper of rituals that bent unseen forces to human will. From Mesopotamian tablets to medieval grimoires, from names etched in forgotten languages to symbols that look eerily like schematics, one thread seems to run through them all: humanity's attempt to command what lies beyond the veil. Long before the Bible, before King Solomon, the Sumerians were already recording rituals on clay tablets to banish spirits that could cause harm. These weren't dark arts for summoning demons, they were survival protocols, a spiritual firewall crafted to keep chaos at bay.